changing case, border and shading. In this video I'm going to show you how to change your case without having to delete everything you've typed, at the same time how to use border and shading on your documents. Now for example, if you want to put everything you've written here into capital letter, now a lot of you might actually want to delete everything you've typed, then retype it in capital letter by owning your cap lock on your keyboard. Now that might actually be a very extreme measure, because you have a particular option under your format menu which could actually help you to change your case into any kind of case you might want to write at all. For example, if you go to format menu, you go to change case, you have uppercase, you have lowercase. If I want to change everything here into lowercase, I'll just choose lowercase, into sentence case, into title case, into toggle case. For example, I want to choose uppercase, I'll just choose uppercase and I'll say okay. As you can see, everything is in uppercase. If I want to put it to the center, I can highlight it to the center. Now for example, if I want to change everything to lowercase, I'll change it back to lowercase. I'll just say okay. If I want to change it into title case, I'll choose title case and I'll say okay. What happens is that in title case, you can say the first letter is capital letter, first letter of every word is capital letter, that's title case. Then if I want to change it into sentence case, I'll say sentence case. Every time you have a full stop, you say capital letter. Then when you have a full stop, you say a capital letter. Though I was one that actually put this as a capital P, but you won't see this as a capital letter because I put it as a capital P when I was typing the text. Now those are things that you see. Once I put a full stop here, for example, what happens is that this one here, this IL here, will go into a capital letter. Watch this. What we'll have eventually will be this. Let me show you. If we choose title case now, you can see that the IL here is now a capital letter because of this full stop you have here. So those are things that you need to know you can actually do with your change case, instead of you having to delete everything you have typed and retyping them with the particular case you want to use it for. You can actually use title case, sentence case, lowercase, uppercase, toggle case. It depends on whatever kind of case you want to use. Now as well, I'm going to show you how to add a border around your page. To add border around your page, you go to format, you go to border and shading, you go to page border. Now I need to tell you that by default, this particular hat we want to use on that page border tab here is not installed on your system. So it might require you to insert your installation disk, which is the software used to install this application, Microsoft Word. It might require you to actually insert the disk. A lot of you might not have the disk, which means that if you do not have the disk and you have it's better you buy it from the market. And if you do not have a way of buying the disk, then the best thing is to understand that you cannot use this particular option, because this option here is only available to those who have the disk. It doesn't install automatically with your application. So what I'm going to do now is to click on this art. Now I have a list of hats. If you click on the hat for the first time, it's going to load a dialog box where it's going to ask you to insert your disk. If you insert your disk, automatically it will just load the hat it needs. Then once it loads this art, all you just do is just choose the art you want to choose from any of these arts. Then once you choose any of these arts you want to use, let's say for example I want to use let me use this as my hat. What you see on your page, you can see the top, you can see the bottom. If I don't want to use that particular hat, I can always change the hat to another hat type. This is another hat type where you have a scissors. Another thing I can do, I can decide to change the width of my hat. So the more you change the width, the more visible the line becomes. The less the number of the width, the less visible the line becomes, as you can see. So it depends on what you want to do. Now a page border might actually make your work as in might actually add some beauty to your document. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on what kind of document you type in. You can as well use a page border on an official document, but you have to ensure that the particular page border you are using, it's actually making the same sense with the document you're trying to send. For example, if I use, let me use, I want to use something very simple. Yeah, there are lists, there are tons and tons. Okay, if I use this particular page border on my proposal, it's okay. It's okay. It has actually, it has nothing. It doesn't actually have any problem. It's not going to spoil my proposal. But if I use something like this on my proposal, for example, let's say I use this. The truth is this. What kind of animal is this? Whether it's a bat or a bird or a baby bird, I don't know. Now, it might actually not speak well in my proposal, so it depends on what you're actually trying to do. But if you're just playing with page border and arts, you can actually use any of these on your document. Nobody's going to hold you for that. Now, I have been able to show you how to use your page border. You can as well put a border around your text. You can use a box border. You can use a shadow border, which put a shadow at this side, at this side. You can decide to remove the top line, or the bottom line, or the left line or right line. So it depends on what you want to do. You can insert it back by clicking on them. You can use a 3D. You can customize it as well. Then you can choose the line style you want it to appear. There are several line style you could choose from, so it depends on what you want to do. So whatever line style you choose from is always going to be your choice, and you say okay. Now if you notice, the particular page border only appears on the particular text that is selected. Let me control Z it. Let me just show you. This was where my cursor was initially. That was why the page border came around this particular text. If I put my cursor here, what you'll see is if I go back there to my page border and I choose, let's say I choose let me choose box for example, and I change my line style into this, and I say okay. Do you see that now? It only goes around trunks. If I put it here, let me undo that. If I highlight everything here, then I go back there to page border, to borders, I choose box. I can decide to change the style to any style I want it to be, and I say okay. You can see it goes only around here. So it depends on whatever you want to use. A border had the border around your text, while the page border had the border around your page. It is as well possible that you could actually use shading too around your text. And what I can do is, if I decide to highlight all this section here and I want to use shading, I'll just go back to page border and I'll choose shading tab. On shading tab, you can choose any color you want. What happens is that it will shade that particular section to whatever color you want. Highlighting this section here, I can go to my format, border and shading, choose a particular shade I want to use, and say okay, well, this is what you see. So it depends on the reason why you're shading your page. So as you can see, I can shade it based on any color I want to shade it as. Now when you shade your page with a particular color, sometimes some color might not make your text to be visible, so you might actually have to change your font color on your document. Excuse me. To change that, just highlight the text, then go to font color on your drawing bar here, or you can see font color down up here. Then you change the font color to any color you want it to be. Now what you see is going to be the color you choose, as you can see. So if I change this particular color here to, let's say, red, as you can see. So those are things you can actually do with your page border, with your borders, with your shading. This is shading. So I have told you that if you put shading on your text, you might have to change your font color. Now all these are the features you can actually add on your document, and as far as we've covered, we've been able to cover format menu, we've covered paragraph, we've covered bullet and numbering, we've covered border and shading. The only one we've not covered is fonts, and I'm going to show you how to use your fonts to do a lot of things in Microsoft Word. A lot of time we want to write Naira, and we write Naira this way, N, and some people will go extra mile by putting an equals to sign in front, and at the back. As far as I'm concerned, this is not still naira. If you want to write your naira, just write N, then put the figure you want to put, then N, go to format, go to fonts, then you can choose a double strike through under effects. Double strike through will put a double line across the word, but the letter or the character. Now you can see we have naira, 10,000 naira. Now sometimes you might want to write 10 base 2. This is 102. If you want to write 10 base 2, you highlight the 2, go to format, go to fonts, and you choose a subscript that puts it as 10 base 2. If you want to write 5 raised to power 7, excuse me. Now if I notice that I actually want to write 5 raised to power 7, but presently this is a subscript, so I'll need to go back to my fonts. I'll need to remove the subscript so as to make it a normal text. Then I want to write 5 raised to power 7. I'm going to highlight only the 7, then go to my format, go to fonts, then change it to superscripts. That is 5 raised to power 7. So you can actually use strike through, which strike it with a single line. You can use a double strike through. You can use a superscript, a subscript. You can emboss it. You can engrave it. You can outline it. You can put a shadow across it. You can make it a small caps. You can make it all caps. You can hide it as well. Those are things you can actually do under effects. But there are other effects you can actually do. You can change your font type here as well. Instead of using this particular one here, you can make it bold, italics, and underline as well here. Instead of coming here, you can change the font size here as well. You can change the underline sign or underline style here. Different kind of underlines you can actually use here. Then another thing you can do with your font menu is that you can add effects to your text. For example, if I want to put effect on this, okay, let's say I write let's say I have happy birthday. Now I want to put effect around my happy birthday. I'll go back to font, format, as a format menu font, and I'll choose text effects. Now I have blinking background, I have Las Vegas lights, I have matching ants, I have matching red ants, I have shimmer, I have sparkling text. This is the one I want to use, which sparkles around your text. If I zoom this, you'll enjoy the beauty. Can you see? That's for happy birthday. You can actually add this particular effect to your document. Depends on whatever kind of document you are typing, but this effect would only be enjoyed not when you print them out, but rather when you are viewing them. So if I go to print preview, I'm not going to see the effect on it. Are you getting me now? I'm not going to see the effect on it, but I'm going to see the effect if I'm viewing it. Now I hope you actually understand how to use your format menu. I will be able to cover column, drop cap, change of case, fonts, paragraph, bullet and numbering, border and shading. Now you can as well add a background to your entire page by going to background, click on background, and choose whatever kind of background color you want to use. That add a background to your entire page. Now which is different from shade that we used here. I hope this video has been informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.